Okay, so yesterday we talked about adding decimals and subtracting decimals. Today we're moving on. So we're going to multiply the numbers as you would. So multiply as you would with whole numbers. Once you've multiplied those and have the answer, you're going to count the decimal places in each factor. Remember, factors are the numbers you are multiplying together. Then you're going to put the same number of places, decimal places, into the product. Remember, the product is the answer to the multiplication product. I'm sorry, the multiplication problem. So the factor is going to be, the factors are going to be the numbers you're multiplying together. The product is going to be the answer. Okay, so now that you have the notes written down, we can look at a sample problem. So 3 and 91 hundredths multiplied by 6, which is a whole number. We're going to stop and take a look at this problem before we start multiplying. 3 and 91 hundredths is a factor. 6 is a factor. And the answer that you get is going to be the product. Another thing we're going to talk about is the fact that we did not line up the decimals. So you're going to need to remember the difference between addition and subtraction and multiplication. So if we follow the rules or the notes that we just wrote up here, we're going to multiply as usual. So 1 times 6 is 6. 9 times 6 is 54. Regroup the 5. 3 times 6 is 18, plus 5 is 23. And now the part that you need to pay close attention to is count the decimal places in each factor. So the decimal places here, 1, 2. There are 2 digits behind the decimal point. There is no decimal point here. So with 2 digits or 2 place values behind the decimal point, I'm going to come here to the right of the product and count in 1, 2, and put my decimal point. So my answer is 23 and 46 hundredths. Okay, my next problem is 0 and 16 thousandths times 3. So this is 16 thousandths times 3. 6 times 3 is 18. Regroup the 1. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. 3 times 0, and if you would like to, 3 times 0. So I'm counting the digits to the right of the decimal point, 1, 2, 3. There is none down here. And then I'm coming down to the product and putting in 3 decimal places, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So these are 2 regular decimal problems, multiplying a decimal times a whole number. Now we're going to talk about what happens when we have some special situations when you're multiplying decimals. So let's just start with 4 and 716 thousandths times 2/10. The first thing I just want to mention to you is if you look ahead of time at your decimal situation, sometimes that can help you. So 1, 2, 3 place values or digits behind the decimal point and 1. So you know right away that you're going to have a decimal with, a product with 4 decimal places. Sometimes if you organize that in your head beforehand, then that helps. Okay, so let's start multiplying. 6 times 2 is 12. Regroup. This is 2 plus 1 is 3. 2 times 7 is 14. Regroup. And 2 times 4 is 8 plus 1 is 9. Now we know we're going to put in 1, 2, 3, 4 decimal places. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you'd like, you can put a 0 in the front, but it's not mandatory. All right, another problem that we can do, I'm going to write it like this: 3 1/10 times 0 5/100. Because we can use the commutative property, we can write this problem either way. However, I'm going to write it with 3 1/10 as the top number. I'm intentionally doing this to create a little discomfort. In a problem like this 0 could be left off, and then there would be 2 digits on the top and two digits on the bottom. So it would create that place value matching up. It's not actually matching, but in any case, let's start multiplying. So 1 times 5 is 5. 3 times 5 is 15. And then 0, 0. And basically, we can stop right there. You wouldn't have to add in this third line. So we have 5, 5, and 1. We have 1 decimal place here, 2 here, so it's 1, 2, 3. Okay, we just have one more thing to talk about with multiplying decimals, and that's zeros in decimals. So we have 2 problems here, and basically if we were to estimate beforehand what was going to happen here, we would say this is obviously 3, and this number rounds to 0. 3 times 0 is 0. So let's see how close we get to that. We're going to take 0 and 16 thousandths and multiply it by 3. 18. This is 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 0 is 0. Now, we have 1, 2, 3 decimal points to put in, decimal places. So we'll go over 1, 2, 3. So if we round this, it does actually round to 0 in the whole number spot. So doing those estimates ahead of time can sometimes be really helpful. Okay, the next problem is very simple. You don't even really need to write it like this. I'll show you 2 ways. Basically, all you need to do here is 9 times 3, which is 27. But now you need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 decimal places. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's where your decimal point goes. These empty spots get zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So our answer is 27 tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000, 100 thousandths, 2,700 thousandths. As a fraction, this would be written like this. Here's another option for that problem. Let's say you see it written out like this. You don't even need to go through this procedure. You just do 3 times 9 is 27, leave yourself some space, count up your decimal spaces, and then add the 3 zeros in the front. Okay, that concludes multiplying with decimals on this rainy day.